I'm Jessie at Blumenthal Lansing, and today we're going to show you how to sew on a button. So we have several different kinds of buttons here, but what I'm going to show you today are the 4-hole buttons. And there are several different ways that you can sew on a button. Today we're going to do this one right here. It's the cross-stitch button. But other alternatives would be this one, which is just pretty basic. It's straight across diagonally. That's another popular one. And there are also some decorative ways, like this one here. You can see it's an arrow. It's kind of interesting. It's a unique way to sew on a button. It's good for crafting. And then there are also other decorative ways, like for instance here we have beading, which really decorates the button. It's kind of cool. Here are some more beading examples. And then another one that we're going to show you later would be this one, and it has cherries on it. It's pretty cute. And here's the stem, and then you have the cherries. It's really cool. So we'll show you that in another video. Okay, so now that the needle is threaded, what I'm going to do is pick the button, and I'm going to pick this one, this pink one I got from Favorite Findings. This is Big Fun, and I really like this one a lot. So I have my button. And what you usually want to do is you want to stitch on the wrong side of the fabric. So I'm going to flip this upside down and then stitch right through. Okay? Now that I have the button, I'm just going to go right through any of the holes. And then since we're making the crisscross, I'm going to sew directly below the first hole. Okay? Usually you want to keep flipping up and down so you can see what you're doing. Now at your next stitch, you want to stitch to one of the holes next to the ones you just stitched through, and you want to stitch diagonally across. That way you make your X. And if you're sewing onto a garment, usually you want to stitch twice if you're using embroidery thread. That way it's a little secure. So now that I've stitched through, what I'm going to do, if this is a garment, I'm going to stitch through, but I'm not going to sew through a hole. I'm going to just go through the fabric, and I'm going to create what's called a shank, and that allows room for another layer of fabric, which is good for coats or heavy fabric. That way it can lay comfortably. So what you do is, since the thread is sewn through the fabric, you're going to loop around the button once or twice. And then you're going to stitch right through the fabric again to the back. You don't need to do this if this is just a craft project. So now that that's through, you're almost done, so flip it over. And what you're going to do next is just knot the thread. So what I usually like to do is I usually like to stitch right through all the thread that I just stitched. Right there. And then keep a little bit of a loop and put your needle through the loop and do that twice. And then create your knot. And then you can cut as closely to the knot